this morning Arsenal have become Premier League champions for the first time in 22 years.
At long last, we can officially say that Arsenal are Premier League champions once again. It has been a long time coming, 22 years to be precise. The club has experienced some really low lows and they have come so close in recent years, but it has finally happened for them once again, and there's undiluted joy on the streets of North London and certainly all across the world. But while congratulations are definitely in order for the Arsenal, in this video we want to look at the bigger picture. What does this victory mean for Arsenal and the rest of the league? That's one question we're going to be answering in this video today. This is why this Arsenal Premier League title success changes everything.
Hey fam, this is your chance to build the jersey collection you've been waiting for. The Goal 90 bundle deal is live. Buy 2 jerseys and get 10% off. Buy 3 and get 15% off. Buy 4 and get a massive 25% off. Club kits, country kits, retro classics, pick your favourites and save big. And yes, every order comes with free worldwide shipping. The deal runs only until the end of May. Goal 90 bundle deal. Buy more, save more. Shop now at Goal 90 Shop.
First of all, it changes everything for Arsenal themselves. This crop of players have been playing with huge pressure for the last couple of years. They came close in each of the last 3 seasons but were just unable to get it over the line, finishing as runners-up each time. And you know what? That might have caused them to play with fear a few times and stumble when they shouldn't have. Now that they have finally been able to complete the job, they can now heave a massive sigh of relief and relax a little. It must feel like a huge weight has been taken off their shoulders so they can enter next season with a little more swagger and confidence. They've always known that they're a good team, but now they know that they're champions. That kind of confidence boost could really spur them onto something incredible. This right here could be the start of a dynasty. Also, with Pep Guardiola set to leave the league at the end of the season, the title race looks like it will get a bit easier for Arteta and his boys in the coming season. Obviously, the game is never played on paper, but winning this league surely makes Arsenal massive favourites ahead of next season. Essentially, the Gunners will enter the 2026-27 season with less fear, less anxiety, and a lot more respect from rivals. With this trophy, the Arsenal banter era is officially over, but even before next season comes around, it gives them a massive boost ahead of the biggest game of the season, the UEFA Champions League final. First of all, having won the league with a game to spare, Arsenal can now afford to rest key players in the final game of the Premier League season ahead of their big clash against PSG in Budapest. On top of that, going into that game as Premier League champions is definitely a big psychological boost. They know that they are champions. They know that their season doesn't depend totally on that one game against PSG. They know that they can now go out there and play without so much pressure. In a game that is expected to be so tight, a little boost like this can go a long way in giving them the extra push that they will need, and just like that, they could go from just Premier League winners to European double winners. But here's why all of this is even more interesting. This Arsenal Premier League victory has consequences for not just them, but also for others in the league. How? We'll talk about that in a second, but if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Done? Okay, back to the video. Arsenal, having won the league playing the way they did, might force a massive change in how football is played in England going forward. The Gunners sort of threw it all the way back with their tactics and style of play this season. They prioritised all-round physicality, defensive solidity, and took advantage of set-piece situations, be it free kicks, corner kicks, or even throw-ins. This is how football used to be played in England years back, but it had since been abandoned in favour of a more high-energy, more open and more entertaining style. But well, seeing that this old style has made Arsenal Premier League champions, it sends a clear message that that philosophy is not so outdated after all. It still works, so other teams might start to adopt it. I mean, that is what champions do. They influence the rest of the league. When Pep came in and started to dominate English football with his dominant and possession-based style, we started to see other coaches and teams try to imitate that style of play and adopt that philosophy because they had seen it work and bring so much success. Heck, even Arsenal themselves picked a thing or two from Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. But now that the Gunners are the new kings, expect a lot of coaches to start to adopt that style. But it's actually very interesting that we said that this victory could signal the start of a dynasty for Arsenal in the Premier League, because it surely won't be that easy. Arsenal put all their tactical cards on the table this season, but thankfully it paid off big. The problem now though is that they must now switch things up in order to continue their success. Arsenal have been the team to beat in the Premier League for some years now, and that will continue next season, so you bet a lot of teams and coaches have been studying them very closely. They have started to devise ways to stop their set pieces, limit their danger in transitions, and break down their seemingly impenetrable defence. What this means is that Arsenal just cannot come into the new season with the same tactics and the same setup expecting to get the same results. It might not go the way they want it to. The recent years have shown us just how tricky a title defence can be in the English top flight. City won the league in 2024 and had a horrible follow-up season. Liverpool won it in 2025 and have had a truly torrid campaign so far. It is one thing to become Premier League champions, but to sustain it, you have to grow and evolve. So this Premier League title success means that Arteta must now go back to the drawing board and start over from scratch. Another way this victory changes everything is that it takes Arsenal to a new level status-wise. Arsenal has always been a massive club culturally with a huge fan base all around the globe, but they had sometimes suffered in the transfer window because of the trophy situation. Arsenal had sometimes missed out on some real gems because they had not yet gotten over the line. But with the crown sitting comfortably on their heads now, they can actually pull the best of the best players in the world. It's simple really, the best players love to join a winning team, and with the Premier League title now back in their cabinet, that is literally what Arsenal is right now. So their pull just received a massive boost. We hear that they have been linked with top players like Julian Alvarez and Kivica Kvaratskhelia. If they had bottled this title, it would have been almost impossible for them to land those players. But now that they are the champions of England, players like these would be a little more motivated to join this winning team that seems like it's about to begin a new era of dominance in England and Europe. It also means that they'll likely keep their best players. Just imagine if Arsenal had bottled the league title this year after having been at the top of the table for over 200 days, they would have been at real risk of losing some of their big guns. Guys like Gabriel and Saliba have been linked to top clubs like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich over the years. If Arsenal had fallen short once again this season, those players might have really started to consider moving away from North London. But now that they've finally done it, it changes everything. Everybody in the dressing room is very likely now fully committed to the project and ready to stay for many more years. We won't be surprised if we start to see new deals being signed all around. Finally, this victory surely changes the perception of Arsenal Football Club from outsiders. For years, rival fans have perceived Arsenal as bottlers, bridesmaids, and just generally a banter club. But now that they have won the Premier League, they just cannot have such opinions anymore. Whether you hate them or you love them, you now just have to respect the champions of England. And it's not just about the club itself, it's also about the players. For years, rival fans and even pundits have struggled to give Arsenal players the respect they deserve because they hadn't won anything yet. Well, this changes everything. The likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel, William Saliba and Declan Rice have always been top players, but folks have often struggled to put them in the world-class category simply because they had not won anything major. Well, now they have, so that can no longer be an excuse. These players can now start getting the respect they deserve and start getting into conversations they deserve to be in. All in all, this long-awaited Arsenal Premier League success has massive ramifications for everyone, but obviously for the Gunners in particular. But are there more ways in which this changes everything? Tell us in the comments. But before we go, once again, congratulations to Arsenal and all the Arsenal fans watching this. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye!